Well, let's look at some of these other points that would help
Yes,
also. Yeah,
yes.
but key thing taken from Napoleon Hill is in every adversity, there's something in needs that I can use to benefit, right?
Mm,
And
right.
Bell talks about the fact that when one door closes, another one opens, right? Then this guy here of Panera Bread, it talks about what they went through the pandemic, how they were able to live above the issues during the pandemic, and he says when you have an issue, the first thing is that you need to remain calm, which is what I said earlier on. When you're in a place of confusion, you can't hear from God. So you can't get the right solution to your problem when you're in a place of agitation. So every time you will see, God will say, be still, right? Be still. You hear God in the place of stillness. You hear your spirit in the place of stillness. You're able to hear from your intuitive mind in a place of stillness, in a place of quietness, right? So irrespective of what is you're facing, you just be still and trust God, right? Trust God that nothing that comes your way can kill you, even if it was intended to kill you by the enemy, right? There's a God over your life that's able to make all things work together for good, right? And all things means all things, right? And it's just for everybody, every one of his creation, right? God is able to make all things work together for their good, right? So in every adversity, in every difficulty of life, there is something good that can come out of it. So you're in a place of calmness, in a place of rest to see what can I do, right? You cannot do everything, but there's always something you can do when calamity strikes, when event of life strikes. So that's what you want to wait and listen and be calm to know what to do. Is it as it were you are sizing the environment, you are sizing the moment, right? And he is saying here that there's a tendency to want to jump into action mode and do something. But that's how people die, right? If you just jump into a situation when something goes wrong, you most probably will get into what we call a tunnel vision, because the sphere will make you log on to something which might be the wrong thing, but you begin to justify that wrong part, right? And that's what we call tunnel vision. And the example I typically say is the Twin Towers. For people to decide that they can jump out through the window and jump to safety, that is what was tunnel vision. Something told them that was going to be a solution, but that was just a jump of death, right? If they had been calmer, they would have probably gotten a better alternative or solution than they did, right? So it's you need to don't jump into action, instead take the opportunity and step back, especially when there is no playbook. Take two steps backwards, look at what is facing you, and step out of the frame, because at that point in time you're within the frame. You're in the frame, you can't see the whole picture, right? So that's what we say, take two steps backwards, step out of the frame and look at the issue holistically, so you can be able to size it up. Nestle says that you should identify what is truly important, right? So in this situation, what can I do? What's truly important to me? You know, and so for an organization, even for a person, you begin to ask yourself, what is my mission in life? What's my vision in life? What are my values in life? What are my beliefs in life? And how do all of these apply in this circumstance? How am I able to uh, respond, not react to this circumstance in a way that I don't necessarily lose fundamentally who I am as a person, you know. And thirdly, he says that you should know that everything will pass, right? It says, these two will pass away. It's difficult to believe that when you're in the midst of a problem. Last time I was in depression, there was someone that used to tell me, "Oh, it will pass away. He's been there before. It will pass away." I could not believe it. I could not see it, because where I was right then, it was like there's no way it could pass away. How will I get my family this? How will I do this? It didn't make sense to me. But here I am, right, talking to you, and I'm out of it, right? So it's true. Irrespective of what you're going through, to pass away, right? And you want to ensure you naturally it will pass away, but there are things you might do that might make it not pass away, or the event might go away, but you might have hurt yourself in the process, right? Because if you key into anxiety, you might do some things that you're not supposed to do that might hurt you. So even though the circumstance passes away, the hurt will stay. Does that make sense? And did you understand the last thing I said?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah. People make some stupid mistakes when they're in trouble.
Right.
The
Right.
situation may go away, but whatever scar they put on themselves will remain.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why you want to be calm, and you want to do things that are rational, not things that are not irrational. All right.
Right.
You said finally, how can we see the experience becomes I mean, you can learn from the experience, is all that's trying to say, from yeah. But going back to what we have talked about earlier on, and be applying it in everyday life, is to, in the midst of all the issues you're going through, the overwhelm, you need to step back, right? Don't allow it to drown you. Step back and just, well, obviously you're going to pray about it, but you're also asking in the moment, all of that, uh, God, what is my part? How can I handle this best? How do I prioritize things? Do things one at a time. Lord, teach me to trust you in the middle of all of this. Help me find my place of rest in you. Let me find that center of the storm, right where you are. In the middle of all the raging sea, if you go deep into the sea, the water is still. But on surface, there's all that bustling. But if you go into the sea itself, there's none of that motion is there. Right? It's finding that place of rest in the middle of all the storm, and just taking it one step at a time and just trusting God that one way or the other, things will find their own level, their own solution, as it were. Does that help?
Yes.
All right. So this is the last slide in this, and we'll take the examples more next Sunday. So Bethany just says, don't let obstacles sideline your business or life. Saying that don't let the challenges, make you give up or make you par. Problems are inevitable part of the journey to sustain success, right? The problems will always come. It's how we handle them that is important, right? So let's confront problems calmly. Grace under pressure helps you make better decisions and gives you the fortitude and courage it takes to right or wrong, right? And ask for what is rightfully yours, right? So getting that place of calm is vital, right? A strong moral compass, a sense of right and wrong, and tenacity pay off when dealing with the rocks on the road. So we're saying that there's a need for us to have a strong moral compass, right? That means we know what is right and wrong. For us, we don't, not everything goes, right? Uh, we have a sense of right and wrong, and then with tenacity, right, to stay till we get what we want. Like that would help, as we face the issues of life, right? And that's what she summarized in the quote Yes, yes. It's never accept anything less than what you deserve. Yeah. And that's again is Luke 18. It says, he gave this parable to the end that men ought always to pray and not to faint. So whatever it is that you want in the midst of all of this, I think you should write it down. And that becomes your prayer, right? That's what you're asking God for. You're not compromising. God, this is what I want, but as you do asking him, you're also opening your heart to what he's saying, concerning it, what direction is giving you concerning it, right? So like Jesus Christ would say, he says, he that asks will receive, he that seeks will find, and he that knocks, the door will be opened unto, right? If asking doesn't give it immediately, then let's seek. Seeking means opening my heart to God, to hear from him, right? And whatsoever he tells me, I'm able to break down the door, because then I have a definite rhema concerning the situation from God. Does that help?
Yes, that helps. Yes.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
All right, that's all I have for today.